You're listening to The Next Chapter is Hers, a podcast about healing, growth, and becoming the main character of your life. We are your hosts, Hannah
and Heather, sisters, storytellers, and your weekly hype women.
Welcome back, main characters. Welcome back, main characters. Last night, we did our premiere of our very first episode in the studio, and we decided to make it into this big, glamorous premiere showing. We set up a projector.
I mean, in true fashion, we thought about this 12 hours before.
True.
So
very last minute.
We just put on Facebook hey, come to our premiere.
But we only ended up having one person show up who was not related to us.
You're putting that on blast for everyone to know?
Yes. We have to. We have to keep it real. So we're sitting there. We're watching it. We cracked open some seltzers and made some mocktails. We ate some cake and some tiramisu. And we had the best time ever, honestly.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And then a part of me got a little sad, later on in the day. And my best friend looked at me and she said, one day, this is all going to be worth it. And this room is going to be so full of people, you're not even going to have a place to sit. And I thought to myself, I've heard this before, and a long time ago when I first wanted to open my studio, when my older sister told me, it's going to be great, it's going to be okay, I was so scared that nobody would want to be photographed by me. And Heather said nothing. She said nothing.
I didn't know you were going to cue me in there.
It's all going to be worth it one day.
They're going to show up.
They're going to show up. They're going to want to be photographed by you.
You said, what if I fail? And I said, what if you don't?
Such a good quote.
And you didn't.
And now today, it feels a little more full circle because the guest that we have coming in is an OG. She's one of the original photo shoots that we had at the studio. And I remember the session like it was yesterday. And she truly has become my it will be worth it one day, you'll change someone's life person. And I have been able to see her go from just Jennifer to Jenni Foxx.
Woohoo!
And we are so excited to have her on the podcast today.
Jenni is a mother of 3 who's done more than 5 boudoir shoots with us. And that doesn't count the other boudoir shoots that she's done with other photographers. She is a hairstylist, now turned burlesque dancer with over 17 performances this year. That's big time. Her next chapter is launching a pasties line.
I'm actually wearing a pair right now.
Called Foxy Covers. She brought us some beautiful pasties that won't cover my mama nipples. But
oh my God. But they cover mine, so I will steal them and I'll have 2 pairs.
So welcome our main character, Jenni Foxx, to the podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We're so excited.
I am so excited. I was nervous until I remembered you've seen me naked.
A few times.
And the pictures are on the internet, so
can't be shy anymore about it.
You've been naked in the studio and also in Hannah's backyard. Her neighbor saw you naked.
That's right.
That's true, actually. I forgot about that. You were one of the first ones here.
Yeah. Oh, it was still a construction zone here. You threw wallpaper up on this wall and it was like, let me just move this saw real quick and come sit over here.
Right. And there was landscapers outside and I was just full nude under a teepee.
Yeah, I made a little lace teepee underneath the flowering tree.
God.
Oh, insert photo. It's like my new favorite thing is just to insert so everyone can just be brought up to speed and know what's going on.
If you guys aren't watching us and you're just listening, you're really missing at least a third of the experience.
Yeah. We're actually really funny when you watch us.
Yes. If you didn't watch our first episode and you just listened to it, then you missed a hilarious joke of our podcast stopping mid-sentence. You just got a very loud static noise and a beep in your ear. But you also missed Hannah yelling at the camera through tech support.
That's true. It was a silent yelling of my hand. So today we have Jenni, and I love that you're here. When Heather and I first talked about having this podcast, it was right around when we were doing a giveaway. And some of the giveaway submissions that came forward we were reading together, and we were kind of trying to figure out wow, these are some amazing stories. We need to share these clients and these people with the world. And then we came across your email. And your email literally brought us to tears.
For
and we
real.
were like, we need to have her on the podcast. So if you don't mind, I'm going to read what you wrote. Here we go. You wrote, my first session with you was prescribed by my therapist. It was an eye-opener on my true form, and my femininity was on display. Since then, I've done 3 private sessions and I think 3 group shoots with you. Every woman I have come in contact with, I've told, you need to see Hannah. She will fix this. She will help you actually see you. I owe my body transformation to Hannah. I've taken my life back, my body, and my soul. I've shot so many different shoots, and now I get paid to show this femininity as a burlesque dancer. And then you continued going on about how much you loved us, and it was so freaking cute, and we were just crying the whole time.
We
That was
love
my
gold stars.
goal. That was my goal. I just wanted just you to hear how great this whole experience has been for me. And I like to make people cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
We were just sobbing.
You're actually one of the reasons we looked at each other and said, we need to start a podcast, because there are people out there that need to hear stories like yours. And you were one of the first people that we were like, she needs to be on it, because you are an inspiration. Yeah.
Honestly, watching your transformation and just seeing how you've blossomed, I mean, it's incredible. And I think every single person needs a Jenni Foxx in their life. And the more I talk to you, the more I'm like, just like, fill me with all of your knowledge. Do you mind taking us back to when you first booked that boudoir shoot and when you were talking to your therapist and why she prescribed us to you?
Oh, yes. So that was all like, what, 8 years ago now?
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of the ugliest times in my life. A lot of women have gone through what I've gone through, trying to get away and leave like an abusive type of relationship. Not all abuse is physical. A lot of it is emotional. And that's what I was going through, and verbal. I heard so many bad things about me for so long that I started to believe it. And when I finally was able to get that courage, which took a couple of years, took that courage to walk away from all of that, I was just, I felt like nothing. I felt like I was completely just an empty shell. Everything was taken away from me. I couldn't look in the mirror. I disappeared from my friends. It was pretty terrible. So I spent about 2 years, just me and the kids, and finishing up cosmetology school, still miserable until I basically, my now husband fell into my lap. He was a one-night stand that never went home.
Oh my God. And you called him a golden retriever before.
Yes.
And he is, when you look at him, he is like a little ball of gold.
Yeah, he's got long blonde hair and he sheds just like one. But I met him, and his words were so kind to me that I remember asking him, like, oh, are you lying to me? Like, what is this? Because I didn't know how to accept any of that.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had that in so long. And he was so kind and so sweet to me. And meeting him and being a mother, I was like, I need to do something to make myself feel better, because I'm not being a good partner. I'm not being a good parent. I'm not being a good person to myself. So I found a PTSD therapist who, she was really great. She believed in all sorts of alternative medicine. She's very 420 friendly. She was like, do you want to do ayahuasca? And I was like, I do not want to shit myself in front of people. Even though it may work, that sounds terrible. Anyways, so I don't do well with talk therapy. You sit there, and I would relive so many moments in that relationship that I didn't want to relive. I wanted all those details to go away. And my main issue that I was having, that I wanted to get over, because I can heal relationships with my mom and my brother and all of that, I needed to fix the relationship with myself. So talking to her, I was like, this isn't working for me. I don't know what to do. And I don't like my body. I don't like anything. And so she told me I needed to have somebody take a picture of me naked. And if you don't like what you're seeing, or it's triggering you, or you've just been so brainwashed to think that you're terrible, why would you want someone to see you naked? But that was my assignment. I had to go home. I had to find somebody who would take a nude picture of me.
Just anyone, just like some random person on the street. Excuse me, sir.
Hello. I can't ask my mom this. That might be weird. So I went through Instagram and I saw one of my friends, I think it was Andrea, did pictures with you. She tagged Hannah Rachael Photography, and I was like, okay, let me see what this is about. And I clicked on it and I was going through, and my entire mindset of boudoir was completely changed, because a lot of people think that it's just like sexual photography, and it's not. There was all different people, sizes, ages, everyone on this page. I was like, okay, I think I could use her. So I brought it back. I brought the page back to my therapist, and she wrote on a Post-it note as a prescription that I needed to book a session with Hannah and see who I really am.
Did your insurance cover that as a prescription?
No, I didn't have insurance at the time, which is why I think I got married so quickly.
Did you keep the sticky note? I feel like this needs to be framed somewhere.
I really wish I did.
That was like a real Meredith and Derek kind of moment.
Like what? Keeping the sticky note?
They got married on a
God.
Post-it note.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and that was like hung over their bed.
Oh,
Grey's Anatomy, guys.
no. Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh.
I was like, who's Meredith?
Just an old friend of ours.
I'm so honored that a doctor prescribed me to
Yeah,
you.
how do we get her on payroll?
Yeah.
And I tell everybody now, being a hairstylist, I have so many people who sit in my chair who have to stare at themselves in the mirror wearing the trash bag. There's a floating head. Also, no woman likes to sit in front of a mirror, and they'll say such horrible things about themselves. And I was just like, okay, we're going to say something nice. And then here's Hannah and here's Heather. You need to go and visit them, and they will make you see the other side of the camera.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because I've been in your shoes before too. I've been in tough relationships where you start to hate yourself and you doubt everything that you are. Like, you lose your sparkle, you lose your magic, and it is incredibly hard to come back from that. And I actually recently have just gotten my own golden retriever.
Oh, I think he's more like a Saint Bernard.
I know.
That's a big boy.
He is. And I love him so much. But as you're telling me that story, I feel it in my soul too, because it's the worst feeling in the world when you start to believe what's happening in your head, and nobody else can stop you from thinking it because you're just lost in a thought. But somehow these men can wiggle their way in, and all it takes is just one good man to just open your eyes, and then you're like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna heal for you, I'm gonna make myself better, I'm going to put myself first, and they're there to support it, which is such a huge round of applause to those men.
God bless the golden retriever men.
I've seen that a lot, where women have come out of these horrible narcissistic relationships, and then all of a sudden they come back to me 6 months later and they're like, oh my God, I met this perfect man. And where has he been? I was like, he's just been waiting for you so that he can help fix you.
Yeah.
He's real good at that.
Now, that was 8 years ago that you had your boudoir session with us. And you've continued to come back for more girls' trips and stuff like that. And some of the pizza parties where we're just dancing around topless and just having a good old time, just being one with your body and existing in a room with a bunch of other women. And since then, you have done so many shoots. You've transformed yourself. You've completely become a totally different person, which leads us to Jenni Foxx. Now, I need a full breakdown of who Jenni Foxx is, whose money she's taken, what she's doing. I need all the details of where Jenni Foxx came from.
Oh God. Jenni Foxx has just always been here. She's always been deep inside, but never had that time to come out. I had my kids young, in my 20s. I was 21 when I had my daughter. Then I had the other two, and then everything fell apart. So I lost that fun time that you have in your 20s where you are really discovering who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go off to college. college is not for me. So I didn't do any of that self-discovery thing. So during my 20s, I was mom. And into my 30s, I was still mom. And now that I'm about to turn 40, I'm like, okay, enough. Who the hell is Jennifer? What am I about? What do I want to do with my life? And I started dancing on stage for money.
Tell us how the evolution of how you got to dancing on stage for money, because I know it didn't just like it didn't just start that way.
No, it definitely did not. I was in an aerial gym. I did Lyra and Silks and group class and had so much fun there. You just create such great bonds when you are doing crazy things like this in a group of women.
It's just a fitness class. You were doing it as like a
Yeah, it was just for fun. It was I hate going to the gym. I just feel so judged because that's in my own head. Everybody feels that way at the gym. And I wanted a different way to move my body because that was the main thing was I need to start moving my body. So I started in aerial. It was so fun. It was crazy. And I did that for about 3 years, I'd like to say. And then all of a sudden the gym was forced to close. And the group classes they've gone. Now she only does privates. So what do I do next? What do I do to move my body next? What's closer to aerial? Well, let's try pole. I don't know what I was trying to do in pole. But I took the original like formal pole classes where you're learning to climb and spin and all that. And I was not enjoying that until I saw Pole in the Wall in Springfield has a hot heels class. It's like, oh, hot heels. Let me put on these 8-inch stripper boots.
Oh my God.
They're my favorite possession. They're bright red. I wear them to shows all the time. I love them. Those are the epitome of Jenni Foxx.
I love that.
So I started taking these hot heel classes with Molly, the instructor, and her energy is so crazy. Like, I think if you brought her in this room, it would be like she was here the whole time. Like, she just made sense.
Let's get her on.
Oh, you would love her. She's wild. So her energy kept me going for the classes because at first I am in my underwear, not feeling so hot about my body, not feeling so hot about me, staring in all these mirrors around me with all these other people in their underwear. And I was terrified until I realized, oh, all these people are just like me. We're all scared. We're all trauma bonded and scared. So she teaches burlesque classes probably about once a month. Okay. And I took a class. And the class was terrifying, but I got through it. And then after the second class, she asked if I would do a duet at one of the shows. And that was terrifying to me. It took me a little bit to answer that, but because we now have the why not kind of attitude going
never
into
say
our
no
40s.
anymore.
Yeah, we're not saying no anymore. Let's try it. And I did it. I stood up there in my underwear, covered in balloons, and used a rubber ducky to pop the balloons to a sexy rubber ducky. And afterwards, when everything was done, my corset was off, my tits are hanging out, people were cheering for me.
That's awesome.
And it was a whole it was a whole out of body experience. I was like, did I just do this? I think I blacked out. And then all of a sudden it's just boobs.
The last time my boobs got cheered for was when my toddler was still breastfeeding.
Oh my God. I didn't know where you were going with that. I got scared.
Yeah. Then they handed me a tip bucket. The tip bucket was full. And I was like, wait, people like this? People want to see me do this? And then that's where Jenni Foxx came from.
What a crazy feeling to go so many years hating your body, being told to hate your body, being so stuck in your head. And now suddenly you're on stage performing with balloons and rubber duckies and your tits hanging out and you are making money and just shaking your pasties for the world to see. What does that even feel like in your brain when you've able to jump that hurdle or get over that wall?
It is still really crazy to me because I went from making sure that my husband, and well, he wasn't my husband yet, but when I was dating Mark, that he didn't like see me in light. There was no full light.
Yeah.
There was, because I didn't believe in myself. And I was terrified and he didn't understand that, but they don't understand that. Anyways, so
He cheers for your boobs.
Oh, now he has a Jenni Foxx shirt.
Yes.
And sits front row and only missed 2 shows because of work.
I love him.
Oh, he's there for everything. He helped me make a costume last night. He talks about me to his coworkers.
Yeah, well, my wife's a burlesque dancer.
And, oh my God, look at her Instagram page. I'm like, oh my God.
We love supportive men.
It's just, it feels so freeing. And I went from being so empty inside to now that I feel like I have this purpose. I have this job that's more than just dancing on a stage. It's now, I'm here to do this for other people now. I need the women that are in the audience to realize that they can do this too. That there is like there's no box, that you don't need to be in some sort of box. You can come up here, you could take a class, you can perform with us. And the fun part about burlesque is the majority of our audience is women. So it's girls performing for girls.
That's awesome.
That is my favorite.
It's so, and it makes you feel so much more relaxed because they're here to cheer you on. They're on your team, and you don't feel like somebody's just like trying to stare at you in like a creepy sort of way.
Tell us a little bit more about burlesque and what burlesque is, because it's not, you know, a lot of people have like a misconception about what burlesque is. It's not like strip club, you know, it's way more performative. So tell us a little bit about burlesque.
Yeah, burlesque is a little bit different than your traditional taking off the clothes. It originally started because I had to look this up because I have clients who ask me all the time, like, where does burlesque come from? And I'm just like, I have no idea. Let me do my homework. So I looked it up, and like back in the day when men were wearing wigs and high heels, which they won't admit to doing now, but they used burlesque as more of like like a comedic show during really to make fun of really serious situations, because everybody needs that little comedic relief.
Like if you're dying from the plague, we need to be able to laugh about it.
Yeah, we're gonna make a show about your death.
Show a little ankle.
Yeah. Then it kind of transpired as everything kind of pushes the limits through time of here's my collarbone. And then it started to turn into taking off articles of clothing, and then eventually added in the removal of gloves, which is an entire art form that we have a whole class on, dancing with the feather fans and the boas. And even there's a whole class and a whole way to take off thigh highs.
I love this. I need to sign up.
It's so fun.
Put me in contact with her.
Has anyone ever seen the Taylor Swift behind the scenes video?
Oh, with Zita Von Teese.
Oh my God. And she's like trying to whip off the stockings, and she like almost falls out of the martini glass.
And she's 8 feet taller.
Yeah.
I would love to get into one of those martini glasses.
I almost bought one for the studio. I almost bought also a hanging chandelier for the studio. I didn't.
I call dibs.
Yeah, that one time we got a message from Jenni about there being an aerialist hoop that she saw somebody brought into our studio. She was like, where was that? Why didn't you call me? We're like, she brought it with her.
That Valentine's Day shoe, I did get some people scared getting on top of the sex
Yes,
swing.
we should also insert photo of Jenni doing some upside down tricks
I
on the
thought
swing.
Alyssa was gonna die when I climbed up on that thing. It was scary.
She looked at me and she's like, Hannah, is this allowed? Are we allowing this in the studio
Do
right
we
now?
have insurance for this?
I signed a waiver.
Yeah. She's a professional, everybody. Relax.
Yeah, so like with burlesque, it went from pushing the limits and removing the garments and everything, but as everything does when it comes to women having fun, it was taken away from us and it was shoved into like seedy underground nightclubs. But now that the feminine phenomenon is here and women are taking everything back, it's coming back out again. But it's now evolved from just girls dancing to there's dudelesque, which I would love to get one of those guys to come dance with us. And there's like draglesque, and there all sorts of different things are coming out. And the shows that I perform at are more of like a variety show. I still love the traditional type of burlesque with the jazz music and the slow reveals, but there are some people who really use their time on stage to cause a scene, I'd like to say. And they use it as their own form of therapy. Just like I was prescribed to be naked in front of Hannah, they are choosing to be naked on stage to reclaim their femininity.
I love that.
That's
what was
awesome.
your favorite performance you've done?
My favorite, my first debut performance, I came out in an inflatable chicken costume. And it was Lady Bird Vixen's birthday party. She had no idea what anybody was doing for the performance. And I thought I needed to make it weird. So I came out in my inflatable chicken costume. She screamed bloody murder. I have that on, I play that for myself all the time. So I was like, I made it. And took that off slowly. And then it was a chicken. I made a chicken tail and I laid an egg on her lap.
Oh my God.
So I really like the comedy part of burlesque it's fun and it's supposed to be fun, but sometimes it can get really heavy. And we have somebody who she did her debut performance. Her tagline is the best tagline ever. It's the tomboy with tits. And I love it. Every time they're like, and the tomboy with tits comes out. Their first performance, they were using as a way to heal. So when they said to us before we all went on and we were there kind of cheering them on, said to us, like, this is going to be hard for me. This is pretty deep. It's going to be hard. I don't want to explain it. So we don't know what was going on, but said to us, when I come off the stage, I'm going to bawl my eyes out. And we were all there ready in the back room to catch them. So they didn't have to like fall on their own.
I love that.
I love it.
And
Support.
there's a lot of healing, a lot of tears, a lot of laughter, a lot of craziness that goes on in that back room before a show. But we all try, like people have done it multiple times, we all try to make sure that we are there for the person debuting their performance because we don't know why they're here. Maybe they do just want to make a couple extra bucks, or maybe they are working through something deeper, which is one of the things that I was there for. I was working through something deeper. And even though it's been 13 years since I left that person, I'm still to this day working towards feeling better.
Yeah.
That is so powerful.
It gets deep.
I know. And like, I actually didn't think burlesque was that deep. Like, obviously, I have been to strip club once and I have been to multiple burlesque shows, and I choose burlesque every single time. And it's like, I have witnessed so many shows. I've been to New York and everything like that, but I've never really put the emotion and the power behind it. I didn't know the backstory to it either. So I feel like knowing all of this now, it's so much more of a performance for yourself than it is for other people. And it's such a way to express yourself in totally different forms. And, you know, you can be funny one day, you can be sexy the next day, you can show exactly who you are to the world and just put yourself in the spotlight saying, this is who I am. Leave it or take it and give me your money while you're at it.
And when I'm preparing for a show, there's always a theme. So I dance mainly with Lady Bird Vixen. She is my burlesque mother. And I dance with her, and her group is called Ann Pasties on Instagram, I believe. And we are literally a titty cult. That's what we call ourselves.
I love that.
Titty cult. So when I'm preparing for her show, she always has a theme. And I think about, what character am I going to be for this show? Who do I need to be for the show? For the Valentine's Day show, I was somebody who was going through a breakup, and I smashed a box of chocolate. And then I took all my clothes off. And that was like, it was a Valentine's Day show. Everybody was doing something about like love and sweet and sexy. And it was like, sometimes love isn't sweet and sexy. Sometimes it stinks.
Yeah.
And I danced to Love Stinks.
Nice.
And it was a great time.
And you're actually wearing an outfit right now from your first performance, right?
I did. This is one from that show.
And the back says Jenni Foxx, and you made like cute little nipples on it. And you
the nipples are the
bedazzled
best
everything.
part.
So wait a minute. It was not, you are wearing something that you yourself created. You made that.
I made this.
That is incredible.
There was a lot of frustration went into making this, a lot of time. I really wish I like set a timer every time I worked on it, but it has over 5,000 stones on it. It has a matching belt and underwear, but you don't get to see my pants. So I could be wearing pants or not wearing pants.
We'll drop the Venmo so that you can like share a little nipple and get a little money on the side.
Yeah. I got kids to feed. But yeah, I love creating, and it keeps me off my phone, which is toxic.
So
It
toxic.
keeps my hands busy, and it keeps my mind focused on something for a very extended period of time. And I do it at work too, in between clients, so that I'm off the phone. I'm focused on something else, and they come out fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna brag.
They're
Yeah.
so beautiful.
But I grew up with a mom who was very into art, who crafted, we would make birdhouses and shit all summer long with her. So I put my everything into my costumes and my pasties, and I make them perfect because that's who I am. They have to be better than everyone.
you need to start your own line of bejeweled corsets because they're incredible. I can't stop staring at your tits.
Yeah,
Right?
literally.
And like the way they sparkle. And I did get to do a photographer asked me to bring my set in, and I got to do a couple pictures with her, and the way that the light catches in the photography, I was like, oh my God, I made that.
It's beautiful.
I did get asked earlier to if I would make a corset for someone, which I am nervous about doing because it's a big responsibility. And with the ADHD that runs deep in my family, I lose interest in things very quickly.
Girl.
I feel like she's one of our sisters.
Yeah. Are we related?
Great. We've added another perfectionist to the podcast. Now, you said something before that I kind of want to touch upon because, like you had said, you know, you're entering your 40s, reclaiming your power, taking your life back, becoming Jenni Foxx. And you've spent so much of your time raising your kids, right? Losing yourself for a little bit, finding yourself again. And I kind of want to talk about that like relationship with you and your children and like doing this. Like they're almost adults now at this point. So they're not going to expect anything less from their fabulous mother. And from what you've said before, they're extremely supportive. But tell me a little bit about like advice you give to them or how they kind of follow you around. And
Oh my gosh. So I have a daughter. She is 18. She's about to graduate high school. And I want to make sure that she doesn't look at her body and herself the way that I did. And now with social media, which is toxic to these girls, and filters and AI and this and that and all that nonsense, I was very open with what I was doing on my first photo shoot. And I don't think she saw the first photo shoot because I got in that cute box. But the one that I did that came in the book, it was on the counter, and I was in the other room, and I said, "Don't open that book. You're gonna regret it." And she was standing there with one of her friends, and they opened the book, and she's like, "I regret it." I was like, "Well, this is my body. This is what bodies look like. They come in all different shapes and sizes." And she follows me on my Instagram on my thirst trap page. Her friends follow me too.
on my thirst trap page.
My boys do not follow me. They don't want to. I made sure that they can never find me so that their friends don't, because it is hard for them to come into the house and go downstairs with their friends and try to explain why their mom has a stripper pole
Yeah.
or why there's a upside down like naked painting of her. So like it's cool to be that mom, but
Yeah,
like,
your goals.
but so they've been, I think my middle son had one of his friends say something to him, and he was just like, they're like, "You let your mom do that? Why your mom does that stuff?" Like, and they made it sound negative. And Garrett just said it makes her happy, and that's all that matters. So, and I'm also what you would call the naked mom. I try not to be naked. There's just no pants. There's no pants in my house. Like I'm Winnie the Pooh in it. But that's like, I don't know.
I'm gonna take that line.
You're talking to some naked sisters
I was
here.
about
Yeah.
to say, aren't you like?
I mean, I don't even have a shirt on right now, so
I literally had a new front door installed. So my house is like literally right on the street. So I could never have like a full glass front door. But we had a new front door put in that has like a really kind of large window at the top, which if you're standing in the house, it's fine. You can't like see in it. But my door is directly like in front of my staircase. So like as you're like coming down the stairs, like you're definitely getting a picture show through there. And I have over the last week of it being installed, I've definitely forgotten a few times that there's probably people walking down the street that can see all the things
You're welcome.
through my picture window.
You're welcome.
We're going to get you a Venmo sign also outside of your house.
People are gonna know what time you get out of
Yeah.
the shower.
She's walking down the stairs and her phone dings. It's like $5. Thanks for the titty. She's like, oh, shit. Oh my God. I don't know. There's something really important about being younger and like looking up to a woman like you. Like, I mean, I know I am the naked auntie. I am for my niece. You know, she came in one day and she saw me in a thong getting dressed and she's like, Auntie, you have stuck butt. I want stuck butt. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, she was walking around the house the other day with one butt cheek hanging out. And I said, Harlow, fix your panties. Your butt's hanging out. And she said, no, I like it. And I said, what do you? She said, it's like Auntie Hannah.
Oh my God.
But
Stuck butt.
when we were younger, we had a childhood best friend's mom who,
Oh, Auntie
like you
Tammy.
said, was the naked best friend of our moms.
Oh, yeah.
And she'd be, you know, everyone's idol.
She'd be self-tanning in my parents' house, just like completely butt naked, walking around in March, making sure she had her tan on.
Smoking a cigarette, sipping on tea.
Walking outside in her fur coat.
Yeah,
That's who I aspire to be.
Yeah.
me too.
We all aspire to
I
do
want to
that.
be remembered as that.
Yeah.
Same. And that's why last year I bought my fur coat. I sat on my front porch yelling at my dog with my little joint. And I was like, oh, I've made it.
I'm Auntie Tammy.
I've become her.
R.I.P. Auntie Tammy.
No, but that's what a powerful gift to give to a young girl, like a young woman who doesn't necessarily, you know, have anyone to look up to, or maybe she's going through that same struggle early on, like she hates her body or she doesn't understand, or you know, she's fighting all these society standards, and then suddenly this like powerful, strong woman walks in who's just like, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want when I want. I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to make money at it and live my best life.
I'm trying to get there. I'm almost there.
I think
I'm
you're
almost there.
You're there. I'm looking up to you that way already. So
Yes.
I think you're there.
You're there.
Oh, I don't know how to take a compliment, but thank you.
Oh, take them all.
But I do work with a bunch of girls that are in their mid 20s, and if you sat down and had a conversation with a girl that age, they got some messed up stories, and they've been through things, and they grew up differently than we grew up. I grew up hiding away from my family. I was in a bonfire, like in the woods, like drunk. Like nobody could find me. We were
Yes.
living our best
It was
lives.
some Boone's Farm.
Oh my God.
Like trying to hold on to a tree and not pee on my Uggs. But they don't have those kind of lives and those kind of memories anymore. But they have so much more pressure than we ever had.
Yeah.
Well, everything that they do is also on social media. Like, we didn't have that. Like, you could go to a party in the woods and be an idiot and make dumb decisions. And maybe somebody had a disposable camera. Maybe.
But there's definitely no recordings and no social media to like slap that on. and judge
Absolutely
and-
not. You sometimes ask me like, hey, can you get me a picture of this for the podcast? And I'm like, I have to go like find something in like a picture box somewhere in the attic. Like, it doesn't just exist like in my memories.
Yeah, I think what we were like, MySpace started when I was like 19.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you could get.
Yeah.
you could
And
catch me
when
embarrass me.
Facebook started, like, you had to be a college student.
Yeah, I
to
didn't
have Facebook.
I didn't have Facebook for
I
a
was like
long
in my
time.
20s.
But thank God.
Yeah. Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit younger than you guys. So I think I had a Facebook starting out freshman year in high school. And that was when we had like the hot or not list
Oh my God.
and like the top 10 or the
No.
top 5. And you had to like literally compete with everybody. So now,
I don't even know what that means.
rate your body.
Yeah.
Rate somebody.
Yeah.
On a
who's
scale of
the
1 to
hottest
10.
in the school?
Oh,
Like, thank God that has gone. But now we have TikTok. Now we have Instagram, Facebook, like all these things piled up. And
All with their own filters that, like,
yeah,
you know, you have to like stick a filter on every single time that you
you've got all these Facetune apps. Like nothing on social media is real.
guys, we're unfiltered. I mean, we put makeup on, but we're unfiltered.
We're just fabulous.
My
So-
jawline looks just like this.
but sit a certain way.
Yeah.
The neck skin.
That's why you sit with your titties up, shoulders back, and confidence.
That's why
so
I'm-
that no one can judge you because they can all fuck off.
Yeah.
Speaking of everyone fucking off, I feel like we've had conversations before about you being a hairdresser and the type of people that come in and the advice you've been given by your clients. Like, what would you say the best advice that you've been given has been?
There's some good ones. I love talking to older women, especially like 70s. They
Unfiltered.
No fucks given.
they are hilarious, and I cannot wait to be in my 70s and be just like them. But I've had one woman tell me like, "Oh, you're having a bad day? Just put on more blush." I was like, "Oh, okay." It's red. Or
Keeps patting it on.
Oh my god. Or tell everybody you're 10 years older than you really are.
Yep.
So then they'll compliment you on how great you look. But that did backfire on me once.
No.
Well, I had this woman ask me, she was much older, and I'm never going to tell you how old I think you are. You're 20.
Yeah.
She asked me how old I thought she was, and I told her, and it was nice. She told me that I looked like I was 48, and then I started Botox the next day.
You don't look like you're 48.
It was like 2 years ago, and if you ask the girls at the salon, they'd be like, "She's still talking about this."
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, "Damn!" But that 10 years older one, and then I had the best person. I had her for years, and just like relationships, you break up and you move on. And I lost her, and I'm sad about it. But she came into my studio salon I had in a tiara, and I was like, "What's with the tiara?" She's like, "It's Tuesday." I'm like, oh.
Tiara Tuesday, duh.
And then there was another time that she would come in with like the weirdest looking Kate Spade purses. It was like a gingerbread house. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
okay. And the pink fur coat was my absolute favorite because I don't even think it was pink fur coat weather.
Right. It was like July.
I was like, "What are you wearing?" And she's like, "Always be extra." So I say that every day. Always be extra. Like, you want to wear that dress to the grocery store? Wear it. I'm wearing this
Yeah.
with a pair of jeans.
It's fabulous. It's
I know. I
fabulous.
keep looking at you on the screen. You're just so sparkly and like studded. There's a fur blanket behind you, and you're just, you belong in this scene.
I'm Aunt Tammy.
I'm
Yes.
Auntie.
Auntie Tammy would have loved your bedazzled titties.
That's my goal.
So, what would you say your breaking point was to like finally make the big change that like led you to where you are?
I can honestly say I was just bored. I was bored with my life. I was tired of being mom. I was just mom all day long, or a wife. And I don't like when things are the same. I love change. I love switching things up. I'll move a
Same.
bedroom into a totally different room while my husband's traveling. He
Yeah.
comes home, he has no idea what happened. Like, how did you get this couch out of here? It's like skateboards. And I literally measured this picture with an extension cord.
You just take your arm and you're like, yeah, it'll fit.
Seriously. Like, I can tell you that this is an inch on my hand.
Yeah, I have the same. I know exactly which knuckle to use all the time.
So, and being behind the chair for 13 years and hearing the same thing over and over from women, they've lost who they are. They don't know who they are once their kids are grown and out. Mine will be gone in they're not going to be gone. Let's be real. Mine will be done with school in 3 years. And who am I when the kids no longer need me for everything? So at work, I'm Jennifer. At home, I'm mom. But who do I want to be? And moving into this burlesque world, it's like, this is who I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be a performer. I love attention. I'm a Gemini. Give me your money. Then moving from that, I get to do the other part of the hairdressing world that I love, and it's being supportive and listening and just being that shoulder that somebody might need. I get to help people through some hard times in burlesque and behind the chair. And I don't do hair just to do hair. It's not really good for your body. Like, my body hurts. But I get to be with people during the hardest times and the best times of their lives. And I love helping. I love being there and listening.
That's your superpower.
It's my superpower.
That's why we get along so well. We all have superpowers.
we just want to put everyone in the baby Bjorn and just solve all your problems with you.
I got a spot right here.
I'm not gonna lie, the boobs are comfortable to lay on.
They look it.
10 out of 10.
They look it.
Sometimes Harlow's laying on her and I'm like, slide over a little bit. Let me get a little mommy Heather loving.
She has to drop her Venmo for that.
Yeah. If anybody else wants to join, that's at least a fitty.
Fitty per titty.
Ooh, let's make shirts with that on it. That's good. Fitty per. Wow. Okay, I ruined it.
You're done.
You made it French.
You're drunk. Go home.
I have this really cute sticker that you stuck in with our pasties that is your personification of Jenni Foxx. This is,
Hold it
can you
up.
guys see this?
One of my clients drew that for me. She's been in my chair since I want to say 8th grade. And she went to art school and she didn't know what to do. I was like, you should be a tattoo artist. Her art is phenomenal. So she opened her own studio. And I went and got tattooed under my boobs by her a couple weeks ago. And I was just like, Mal, this is weird. You're going to see my boobs. And like, I've known you since you were just a little child. She's like, I see tits every day. Let's go. And I was like, oh.
Take it off. You're like, me too, actually.
Okay.
So where did Jenni Foxx come from? How did you become Jenni Foxx?
A lot of people, when they're coming up with their burlesque names, like there's a lot of like play on words. Like, what's her name? Androgyny is androgyny. And I'm like, I couldn't come up with anything good like that. And I was just sitting there, and my mom hates when people call me Jenny. Hates it. My name is Jennifer. And if somebody said Jen, she'd always go, Iffer. So I was like, all right. And when I was younger, since she hated Jenny so much, my instant messenger name was Jenni Foxx.
Oh my
And it was probably like Jennifox 42069, something like that.
Something to make her extra angry. You know, I'm not just gonna go with Jenny. I'm gonna make sure I give all the naughty
I
numbers.
was such an asshole when I was a teenager. But I was like, okay, that works. We'll go by that. And she's still not happy every time I ask her for help with something, because she is Miss Art Project and she has a cricket. Comes up with great ideas. She's like, oh, I hate your name. I was like, well, I know. But yeah, it's my instant messenger name.
Oh my god, I love that.
Mine was Sugar7683. Can still email me that.
Mine was banana cake. It's actually still my Gmail too.
Now you're gonna get emails there.
I know, right? It's my personal email. I actually only use it for spam accounts and making new.
You fill out like a resume for something,
Yeah.
and they're like, what's your email? And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Banana
every
cake.
time I have to write that in. It's like, it's also like, it's not even spelled right. Like the 3 is the E.
You're really, really gunning for these emails, right? Okay, so to wrap things up, what is the best advice that you would give to the rest of our listeners?
All of our main characters out there listening.
So my favorite, there's 2 really good ones, and I don't think you guys have heard the other one.
Okay.
So the first one was said to me when I was at a hairdressing class in New York City, and the hairstylist said to us, be where you stand. So all your focus is on the client in front of you. And then she followed that up with, your mind is a dangerous neighborhood. Stay out of it. And it's true.
Yeah, same.
Oh yeah,
If
I
you-
get lost in mine all the time.
Yes.
it's Compton up here, real hood.
Then you just start, then you create all these horrible things. And the next thing you know, you're having an argument with yourself in the kitchen. It's just crazy. My piece of advice that I say all the time to my kids, my husband, my clients, and I don't even know where this came from, but it was, stop sweeping everything under the rug. Eventually that pile's going to get big enough. You're going to trip over it and you're going to have a big old mess to clean.
Yeah,
Ooh. That's another good one.
yeah.
Damn.
All these Jennyisms.
I know.
They're all tattooed on my foot.
Oh my god. I feel like we need a tattoo. Do I see an avocado also on your leg?
Yes, my best friend has the other half.
Oh my god.
But I just feel
The
as
the
if
empty half.
I wanted the chunky one. I know that I'm I just feel in my soul that when I like get older, like my mind is going to be scrambled. So I have all of these random tattoos that will help trigger a memory. So when I'm an old lady, I'll know that this lemon on my arm is I got that with my friend Gianna. We were cutting up lemons to put into lemonade for my wedding, and we were laughing, and my dad walks in the kitchen. He's like, "What are you laughing about?" And Gianna told my dad that she read that if you put a lemon slice in your butt crack, it works like anal bleach. And my poor father was just like, "Oh," walked away.
Sneaks a lemon as he goes.
No, not my precious dad.
Take his name out of your mouth. Oh my God. Do you have any other good tattoos you feel like you need to share a story of? Because that one was just too good.
Oh God. I have wish on my body in multiple spots and the dandelion wish balls. And that will forever be a memory with my mom. We love them. And she would grab them all the time. And people hate them. People go and like poison their yard because they hate dandelions.
Oh.
But like the wish, it's just such a beautiful thing. I have wish tattooed on my head. I have it on my chest in my mom's handwriting. She hates it.
Your mom sounds like our mom. We should get them together.
Right.
They can craft and hate on us.
I have a ring pop. When my husband gave me my engagement ring, I went, "Oh, holy shit, it's a ring pop."
Oh my God.
And then my favorite though is the tattoo of my zombie dog, what we called her, the zombie dog, of right before like a picture taken before she died, and it's so realistic that I don't even like to look at it because it makes me sad.
Oh my! And you have your other dog on your arm as a bunny.
A Kona. Yeah, that was on Easter.
And I think there's a chicken on you somewhere.
There's
also.
a chicken. There's a chicken that laid a diamond egg. And then I forgot about this one. It's a frog with like chubby thighs and a belly and a bikini and an ice cream cone, and it's me.
Oh my God. Hold your leg up. Get it on. Oh, yep.
Mallory
it's perfect.
did that. Mal did that, the one who did my stickers.
Oh my God. We need to get her on here too, because I feel like she's going to have some funny stories
Oh my
as well.
God. As a tattoo artist, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Because they also help you through some serious shit in your lives.
Yeah.
Too.
Boudoir photographers, tattoo artists, and hairdressers. We are like a union of
Superheroes.
saviors.
And we're
Yeah.
we're all trauma bonded to each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, the more you start to talk to people, especially anybody with like an art or a performance background, I feel like we have a lot of the same like child wounds. We won't get into that right now, though.
We all have the same mother.
That's a different day.
We came from the same seed.
Oh my goodness. Well, Jenni, I cannot even tell you how much of an honor it was to have you here today with us. I feel like I've been laughing the entire time. My cheeks hurt. And I think I might be most excited about this episode.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of like freshy in, but we knew from the start that this is where we wanted to show off.
Yeah. We wanted to show you off.
Well, you guys are kind of a big deal.
Oh my God, so are you.
I'm kind of a big deal.
That's right, baby. Start saying it. Start believing it. And I cannot wait for the next episode. We have more amazing guests coming in.
Yay.
Jenni, what is the next chapter for you? What's the next big thing you're doing, or your next event, or what do you see in your future next?
Next, I would love to stop working.
Same.
And be a stay-at-home wife. No. Next, I love performing, but I think it would be really fun to produce my own show. So much goes into it though, so I'll have to like really take it down a notch. But
You can do it at the studio.
Oh, yeah, girl.
that would be crazy.
Let's do it.
Producing my own show would be so great. To come up with like a theme and this and that and the other. So I think that would be my next step.
We're doing it. That is the next step.
It's happening.
It's not might. We'll post all the details.
I have a ton of performers in my pocket.
Let's do it every Saturday night. I'm confused.
We're trying to find a way to like,
Keep the studio
open and give it a renowned purpose. So maybe we'll just take down that wall in the middle and make it a burlesque
Stage.
studio.
We'll make it a stage.
One of our performers does aerial burlesque.
We've got 2 hard points.
2.
Perfect. We're done.
Fuck, we're getting that giant chandelier now.
Yep.
And
A martini
A
glass.
martini glass.
It's happening.
It's my dream. I went to a show where somebody got in that, and oh my God, it just looked like so much fun. Dangerous, but fun.
Oh my God.
We just can't put water in it because it'll leak downstairs to our neighbors.
A tarp.
I was going to say, when we build the stage, we'll make it waterproof. We've got this.
Put
Now
in
it's
the
in my
key.
head.
Wait, and then we can have a rain room and we can shoot some rain boudoir.
Okay, we need to stop this episode right now.
It's costing us a lot of money.
Because I need to go start another business with Jennifox. So I will be talking to you guys all later.
Thanks, main character. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Jenni.
Bye.
A quick blessing before we go. May your mirror be kind, your coffee be strong, and your confidence slightly delusional.
You are the main character, the muse, and the movement.
We'll see you next chapter, babe.